All right, now it's time for chopping with Debo. So listen, man. I went to on my trip to Spezia, I went to Cinque Terre. I love Cinque Terre, man. It's like the mini Almafi. The place is gorgeous. It was cold, but I did have some sunshine during the day. It's cloudy in the morning, and the forecast was showing that there was going to be some sun. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna at least enjoy some sun. But it was cloudy up until like 12 o'clock or so. I went into a restaurant and I had a pizza genovese, and the pizza was amazing. I knew that I was going to get something genovese while I was in the Spezia, Cinque Terre region because they're known for that. And I figured, okay, let me just try the pizza genovese then, right? And man, it was good. I told the waiter, if you could just put some pomodori on there, because I love me some pomodorini. And yeah, it was really good. It came out, it looked really good. I was getting ready to put it in my mouth. I was like, this is going to taste good and everything. And then, I was pleasantly surprised with the way that it was made with the dough. So it was more of like a focaccia dough, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then when I was done, I left the restaurant and it was all sunshine. So I just started walking around, just checking out that town though. So that was Monterosso al Mare, if I'm saying that right. And I was just walking around checking things out. And a lot of things were closed, by the way. I I expected more things to be open, but it is a touristy area and it is off season, so I get it. But luckily that restaurant was open. So I'm walking around and I'm just okay. I need to probably start, thinking about getting on the train and just, get to the next town or go back to Spezia, whatever I was going to do. And I just started thinking, wait a minute, maybe I should go on this little hike that people are mentioning. So I walked up to somebody that looked like they're local, and I was like, "Hey, can you just tell me like how long does that hike actually take? Because there's a hike from Monterosso to the next town called Vernazza." And I knew it wasn't like a real short one, but he said like 2.5 hours. I was like, "Oh shit!" So I was like, "I think I'll get on the train." So I started walking to the train station, and as I'm walking, I'm looking up at the sun, and I'm realizing it's a really nice day, and the view might be good. I changed my mind. So I turned around and I went on the hike. And, you know, the old guy I talked to told me it's about 2.5 hours. Somebody else told me about 2 hours. And it actually took me a little bit less than 2 hours. But I can tell you, going on the way up, there was a couple moments where I was like, wow, I'm tired. If it was the middle of the summer, there's no way. I would have been sweating my ass off and I would have turned around. So I did it. I got to the top and the view was out of this world, man. If you want to see some of the pictures, I put them on my Twitter account. It was crazy. So if you're ever going to get to the that region of Italia, I highly recommend you go to Cinque Terre and to go on one of the hikes. I think there's like several different hikes, and I actually think there's one that people do that are super avid hikers of doing each and every town. Like they'll hike to every town and it takes them all day. So yeah, it was fun. And then there's that night I went back to Spezia to get back to my room, and I had steak at a really good steakhouse in the Spezia area in the Spezia town. It was right near the train station, really close to my room. So I had a steak, and it was pretty good. It was nothing to be super excited about, but I was satisfied. And so yeah, that was what I ended up eating while I was in Spezia. And yeah, oh god, that sucks, man. That's just crap. Okay. All right, now it's time for chopping with Debo as part of this episode. And I ain't got a whole lot to talk about this time because I didn't do a whole lot of chopping around, but I did stop off at a ristorante in Monterosso al Mare, and I had me a pizza genovese. So it was a focaccia type of pizza, really thin crust. Had some fresh pesto on it. I had the waiter add some pomodorini because I love me some pomodorini, and I devoured that thing, man. It was good. It was really, really good. I was very satisfied. And I also went on a hike that day. So the morning it was really super cloudy, and I was like, okay, I thought there was going to be some sun today because the forecast said there is, but it's okay. I'll still enjoy going to the restaurant and everything. And when I left the restaurant after I chowed down that pizza, it was it was completely sunny skies. So I was like, okay, I can walk around a little bit more, enjoy the sun and everything. And on my way to figuring out what I was gonna do, I was gonna walk, and or take the train. And I found a couple locals and I was like, hey, can you tell me about the walk to the next town? What's that like to do that? And he told me about a 2.5 hour hike. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I'll go get on the train then. So I started walking back towards the other direction to get on the train. And as I was walking, I was just looking up at the sun, and I was like, you know what, man, I think I'm gonna do that hike. Why not? I mean, it's not super hot. It's the middle of the winter and the sun's out. I ain't got worried about no rain and there's no crowds or so I went on the hike and I'm so happy I did it. It wasn't the easiest thing for me being old and fat. So I was tired. There was a couple moments where I was like, okay, let me catch my breath. There was some pretty steep parts and I finished it. I got to the top and the view was crazy. So I was very happy that I did it for that. And then on the way down, there was a couple views that were really nice, especially the one looking over the town of Vernazza, which was the next town that I was getting to doing that hike, and it was awesome. So if you're ever in that area, come over to Italia, and you want to go up to the some of the northern regions and everything, and you're in that Liguria area, make sure you visit Cinque Terre because it is gorgeous. And so the other place that I ate, I only really picked 2 places to really eat this time is, a steakhouse in La Spezia, and, it seemed like it was, one of the places where a lot of the locals went, so I said, "Okay, let me try to get some food here," and I had a steak and some oven baked potatoes and some corn on the cob. When I saw corn on the cob on the menu, I was like, "Wait a minute, corn on the cob?" Yeah, they do corn on the cob in Italy. Yeah, but I've never seen it at a restaurant. So I was like, okay, I'll get me a corn on the cob. It was good. I can't lie, it was pretty good. The wine, I had an Amarone, a glass of Amarone Rhine. If any of the wine connoisseurs out there, Amarone is a really good wine I've heard that goes with steak. So I was like, let me pick that because that's what people have told me, and the glass of wine was awesome. It was really really good and the steak was good too. I liked the dinner. It was good, and then that was it. Those are really the only 2 places that I really went to eat, and that is it for the chop I got during this episode. And we'll see you next time. Don't forget to go to Fortunately Press and to go to the special features in there. Joe Fischetti runs that site. I'm very, very happy that he's letting me put the Pallone and Pete's on there. So I just talk about my trips and talk about the food that I eat wherever I go and take a gander at that and just I think I put the Vernazza picture in there from looking up high on the hill there down on the little town. Um, and a couple other pictures. I think the pizza I put on there. But yeah, take a look at that too, man. I really love writing that. It's fun, and I do it for you guys. I enjoy doing it, right? But one of the other reasons I do it is not just to get some personal satisfaction, but it's because I like to share my experiences with everybody out there in Opti Nation too. So go to Fortunately Press, take a look at. I think it's the third blog I've done, and let me know. If there's something that you want me to go and chop at and talk about it on the next edition, and I'll do that. Okay. All right. And that's it for Chop with Debo.